The submittals to the transportation category of the 2020 Core77 design competition reimagined the way people and goods move in the seas, in the skies, and everywhere in between. Award candidates designed entire systems and built fully functional vehicles while collaborating across time zones and under a range of constraints. Proposers address fundamental transportation problems such as equality and universal access and environmental efficiency, while also designing for joy and happiness. To adjudicate this wide range of concepts and designs, the transportation jury devised a list of weighted criteria, including categories such as innovation, feasibility, and sustainability. I'm Melissa Ruhl. I'm an emerging mobility researcher at Ford Motor Company.
Hi, I'm Lisa McNally, and I'm at Lacuna Technologies.
Hi, I'm Mollie D'Agostino, and I'm the Policy Director for the Three Revolutions Future Mobility Program at UC Davis. C-Drive was notable because I appreciated the emphasis on comfort for the elderly and the added safety features like the armrest that made it easier for older individuals to get in and out of the vehicle. I also think that the storage and light features would had a broad appeal. I'd love to have an overhead light of bicycle, and I've never even thought of that, so it's very creative. So well done.
I love any transportation design that supports autonomy and getting from place to place, and especially for the elderly. Overall, I want to support any prototype of accessible vehicles that offer alternatives to our aging population to meet their daily transport needs.
The next notable student award is called Maya, the most advanced yet adaptable. I'm generally a fan of motorcycles. I think they are more sustainable overall from a fuel efficiency perspective, from a storage space perspective. They take up quite a bit less space than cars in parking and moving. So anything that improves on motorcycle designs is a win in my book. Maya gets significantly better mileage than already, a pretty high mileage motorcycle because it can be adapted for fuel cells or batteries. So I think that's really nice. I think keeping the tinkering component will be really appealing to a lot of motorcycle owners, particularly in North America. The noise pollution will go down quite a bit with motorcycles, which is one of the biggest negatives for them now, particularly because communities that are near highways, other high frequency motorcycle roadways tend to be low income. And so reducing noise pollution is all around a positive. So I'm really excited about the Maya. We were all completely taken by the striking ash wood of the frame, especially against the black of the supportive features. It seems like it's fully functional from the pictures that were very elegant and really impressive to pull together a working prototype with a student group in one semester. It's really mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah, I'll also say that I was really impressed with the design. I think it's a beautiful bike. I was concerned about the bike in typical urban contexts. There's collisions happen while you use bicycles, and wood just doesn't have the durability of steel or aluminum. And of course, when so much effort is put into such a beautiful design, if it would break after one crash, that would be such a pity. So I think some crash testing would need to be done to ensure that buyers could have more confidence that the design would have durability before it could be used broadly. So, but well done, and definitely continue working on this type of vehicle.
Next up is the NEMO Coral Restoration System as another student notable. Perhaps not a transportation mode per se. I want to recognize the effort of this transportation design and major kudos to the team for conceiving of a functional tool that can make coral reef breeding more efficient for the scientists doing the work and hopefully leading to more effective results overall. I really like how the design was shaped by direct input from the scientists themselves who would actually be using the tool. And we know that coral reefs in general are critical to ensuring a healthy ecosystem. So any time focused on designing and applying resources to building a thoughtful transportation design that fosters the regeneration of coral reefs is truly noteworthy. As our student notable, shifting gears and maybe wheels a little bit, is traveling with your pets. I really like the thought that was put into this one, although still a concept. I love the market research of the past design trends that the student did, and the desire to really make a big leap in improving the experience for animals that ultimately would need to be transported at some point in their lifetime. I keep thinking about the horrendous tiny wood cat carrier that we had when I was a kid, with the wooden box and the chicken wire windows that were supposed to provide fresh air and visibility for the cat. And I'm really not that old. It wasn't that long ago. So I really like to see kind of the changes in this transport mode for our furry friends as well. The design also takes into consideration convenience for the pet owner. So I think that's something to call out as well. Also just a super smart consideration with having the ability to communicate with your pet remotely, which it's just a nice accompaniment to the overall transport case. So just a cute but also rigorous and thoughtful concept.
I thought this was a great design, and I love the use of the post-consumer products. I think the team really seems mission-driven, and I love how they're looking to address the last mile problem in cities where people choose to drive rather than use public transit because of the last mile gap between a transit stop and their destination. So this device really will help to address that for many people that are interested in using a scooter. I also see this design working well for personal skateboards, but I think the price point was a little bit high for a broader fleet application. It was 500 euros per, but I would hope that could come down, that price point could come down with a bigger production.
Really good point about broader fleet application. For me, this one just got me with, it just really sings breezy mobility, bright and poppy. It's super versatile, doesn't take up a lot of space with storage or when you're taking mass transit from point A to B. And like Molly said, it really does help for those who can afford it, cover the first and last mile within kind of dense urban spaces. Really right now I see the focus on individual usage, but just overall a super fun approach to solo travel.
We were shocked that this was a student submittal and not a professional submittal. We were impressed by the fact that the candidate had a thorough understanding of the problem of delivering goods between East Asia and Europe in a sustainable way. This train design would offer lower emission, autonomous, so hopefully safer and hopefully more efficient alternative. I would caution, though, that there are no autonomous at-grade systems, rail systems in the world today. There's only one that's still in test mode in Germany, outside Berlin. So, this is very much a concept right now, and so we look forward to you partnering to develop this more into a more mature concept. But well done. This proposal created quite a bit of conversation among the jurors. One of the things that I was most intrigued by is that there's a great need for sustainable leisure travel. We know, how costly the carbon is for an international flight, for example, between North America and Europe. We also know how costly the carbon is for a yacht just sitting docked, much less traveling around and providing leisure trips. So this is interesting to me from that perspective. Also, the educational opportunity to get folks up close and personal with the warming Arctic.
I agree that this is a really interesting design, and I obviously would love to spend the time on taking this trip. I think it would be a real amazing opportunity and an amazing experience to see the North Pole up close. I do love that they included a life cycle analysis in their design submission. They're really thinking about the climate impacts. I do struggle, although I know this is a leisure trip, with a sort of comparing this type of travel with airplane or a vehicle, because the trip was so specific to a place that can't be charted with those modes. But I think it's true that this trip could replace another more carbon intensive type of leisure travel, and for that purpose, it might be saving carbon emissions. But that isn't clear to me, and I think that could have been better articulated.
Obviously, the folks who designed all of these entries had no idea that the world would be in the midst of a pandemic, and that we would be all so front and center thinking about how to design for disaster. The team has focused on applying drone technology to disaster areas where it can take off from anywhere and provide, I think it was 300 pounds of relief to a community in need.
We recognize that cities see drones as having many potential benefits and can help improve city services, from infrastructure inspection to search and rescue to security to, as Melissa said, addressing emergency needs during pandemics and global crises. I know that local areas and cities would also really like to harness the innovation, especially the one that we see with the Chaparral, with it being a hybrid, being able to fly 300 miles without touchdown, and really to use these drones to safely integrate them into the technology, into the airspace now and in the future as they continue to develop. Boating for leisure is wildly popular, and despite that popularity, the technology has been slow to leverage innovations. I think this one, it really has, I think boating in general has conflicted with kind of the great outdoors idea and has traditionally been quite unsustainable when you consider the noise and fuel pollution. So it really has left a lot to be desired in that category for quite a while. And we know that Zinboat isn't the only electric boat out there, but this one just hitting the market recently, I think 4 or 5 months ago, really is demonstrating a really sleek, beautiful design, while also speaking to the need for the reduction in noise and fuel pollution with its silent motor, and as well as it being an electric motor. And then of course the carbon fiber and the recycled veneers. I mean, it's just super beautiful and functional. And I love that Zinboats is leading the way with the high bar. $6 to travel 100 miles is super important too when you're out on the water. Finding a place to stop isn't as easy to refuel as it is, say, on the freeway. And I hope that this can really help drive the marketplace, allowing for a range of affordable electric boats as well as the market share grows and support, and as demand grows for this type of boat.
I really rated this highly across all of our categories. I think it had an attractive design, lots of bells and whistles. I was really eager to give it a ride. I was really just, I wish I was in the area where this was designed in Massachusetts, so I could give it a spin. Also, I think the automated summons feature is great if it could really work, and of course, you demonstrated that it could work in a relatively small test case in a video, and I think that was useful to see how the summons could work with no person operating the vehicle. So I think this addresses a big problem in e-bike share companies, that they have to rely on humans to do rebalancing throughout the day, moving bikes around the city to encourage more one-way uses. usage. And rebalancing is often costly and also has a climate footprint if you're using vans or trucks. So automating the rebalancing could improve the reliability of the bikes, and also could which would encourage more people to use the bikes, which is great for traffic in our communities and the climate.
Second, everything Mollie said. The only thing I'd add is that I really support designers thinking about autonomous vehicle applications beyond passenger vehicles. Thinking of autonomous bikes is kind of funny, and it was one of the Google April Fool's jokes back a few years ago. Does address a need, and it's a kind of why not scenario.
I appreciate that the designers recognize the role that public policy plays in impacting the successful deployment of this vehicle. And as a transport mode on the streets that is a low speed bicycle, essentially, I'm hoping that it can really get pedestrians more comfortable with AV technology. And my hope is that this clean vehicle will be available throughout urban areas and will also be financially accessible to all residents. So congratulations.
Great work to the Persuasive Electric Vehicle, which was a little bit of a strange name.
Congratulations to all the teams. I think everyone did a great job. And it was interesting to see that there was such a spread of different types of vehicles in the submissions. So lots of different types of vehicles. And it was difficult to compare them because they were so different. But a great job by all.
Yeah, and solving different problems and seeing a range of solutions. It was very inspirational, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I got so much out of
kind of us trying to apply a kind of a consistent framework across all of these, looking at metrics of equitability, sustainability, innovation, replicability, and
feasibility, scalability, design. Yeah.
Yes.
We had a long list of criteria.
And we actually applied them to all of these. So despite there being different modes for different purposes, we were able to, that framework helps us think broadly, comprehensively across the different needs that these modes were filling.
Absolutely.
So thank you to Core77 for hosting this competition, and to all award candidates for inspiring us.